China Airlines Flight 605 encountered one of the most dangerous airports in the world, Hong Kong's Kai Tak. A seemingly routine flight spiraled into chaos as pilots battled nature's wrath, technological failures, and critical mistakes. Why did one of the world's most advanced jets skid off the runway and plunge into the waters of Victoria Harbour? And how did everyone on board survive this harrowing crash? Let us uncover the mystery behind this fateful day. November the 4th, 1993, a day that began like any other for the crew of China Airlines Flight 605. The massive Boeing 747-409, just 5 months old, was scheduled to carry 374 passengers and 22 crew members on a short 90-minute journey from Taipei to Hong Kong. In command was a highly experienced 47-year-old captain with over 12,469 flight hours. By his side was a 37-year-old first officer with a respectable 5,705 flight hours. Both men had flown into Kai Tak Airport before and were familiar with its challenges. But on this day, they would face an ordeal unlike anything they'd ever encountered. The Boeing 747-409, a symbol of aviation excellence, was equipped with state-of-the-art technology and safety systems. Passengers settled in, expecting nothing more than a smooth flight. What no one knew was that Tropical Storm Ira, swirling over the South China Sea, would turn their journey into a nightmare. As Flight 605 approached Hong Kong, conditions worsened. Tropical Storm Ira unleashed heavy rain, fierce winds, and violent turbulence. Kai Tak Airport was notorious for its challenging landings under the best of circumstances. Now, with a storm raging, the risks were multiplied. The pilots tuned into the Automatic Terminal Information Service, ATIS, and received a stark warning. Visibility had dropped to 5 kilometers, and crosswinds gusting up to 38 knots battered the area. Air Traffic Control, ATC, instructed the crew to prepare for an Instrument Guidance System, IGS, approach to runway 13, a demanding maneuver that required precision and nerves of steel. This wasn't just any landing. To align with runway 13, pilots needed to execute a sharp right turn at low altitude, threading their massive aircraft through towering skyscrapers and steep hills. Even experienced aviators called it one of the most challenging approaches in the world. Descending through the storm, the cockpit grew tense. The captain, sensing the worsening conditions, decided to disengage the autopilot and auto-throttle. This meant he would take full manual control of the aircraft, a decision often reserved for situations requiring exceptional precision. As the plane approached its final descent, wind shear alarms began blaring. This invisible phenomenon, caused by sudden shifts in wind speed and direction, is every pilot's nightmare. It can destabilize an aircraft in seconds. Captain in command.
Landing gear down!
The wheels extended with a rumble, but the storm showed no mercy. Rain streaked across the cockpit windows as the pilot struggled to keep the massive 747 on its glide path. The first officer monitored the instruments, calling out data to assist the captain. But the turbulence was relentless, jerking the plane off course. Finally, the Boeing 747 touched down, but it was far from a textbook landing. The moment the aircraft hit the runway, alarms blared again. The auto-brake system, designed to help the aircraft decelerate smoothly, had inexplicably disarmed. Even worse, the thrust reversers, a critical system for slowing the plane, did not deploy as expected. The captain's heart must have sunk as he realized the gravity of the situation. With over 2,100 feet of runway already behind them, the end of the tarmac was approaching fast. Brakes aren't working. The captain reacted swiftly, manually applying the brakes and thrust reversers. The massive aircraft groaned under the strain, but it wasn't enough. Desperate to avoid a catastrophic collision with the runway's end, the captain made a split-second decision. He veered the plane sharply to the left. The 747 skidded off the runway, ploughing through soft ground before plunging into the shallow waters of Victoria Harbour. The impact spun the plane nearly 180 degrees, leaving it facing the opposite direction of its approach. Inside the cabin, passengers clung to their seats, bracing for the worst. When the plane finally came to a halt, silence enveloped the scene. Astonishingly, despite the chaos and destruction, all 396 passengers and crew members survived. Emergency slides deployed, and passengers waded through the shallow water to safety. The once pristine Boeing 747 now lay half submerged, a shadow of its former glory. News of the crash spread rapidly, sending shockwaves through the aviation world.
How had such a cutting-edge aircraft ended up in the sea?
The investigation revealed that the primary cause of the crash was pilot error. The captain had failed to initiate a go-around, a mandatory procedure when faced with unstable conditions. This critical decision could have prevented the accident. Compounding the problem was a lack of communication in the cockpit. The captain did not keep the first officer informed of his actions, leaving the co-pilot unprepared to assist effectively during the crisis. Investigators also discovered that the thrust reversers had been deployed late. The captain had accidentally pushed the throttles forward before pulling them back to activate the reversers, a delay that cost valuable seconds. China Airlines faced scrutiny for its training protocols. Investigators noted the airline lacked clear guidelines for crosswind landings and crew resource management. These systemic shortcomings exacerbated the challenges of that day. Interestingly, a British Airways pilot, flying a smaller aircraft, had refused to land at Kai Tak just minutes before Flight 605 attempted its approach. Was this a case of overconfidence, or simply a decision born of necessity? Kai Tak Airport, known for its treacherous landings, was a symbol of aviation's golden age. Its closure in 1998 brought an end to its dramatic and sometimes dangerous legacy. But for those who flew there, the memories of its challenges remain vivid. After the crash, the wreckage of Flight 605 was stripped of its airline markings and repurposed for firefighting drills. The towering 747, once a marvel of modern engineering, became a silent testament to the lessons learned that day. Could this disaster have been avoided? Was it simply the storm's fury, or did human error play a larger role? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell. We'll see you next time with another incredible story from the skies. Thank you for watching.